Hello YouTube. I'm going to do this quick video on how to properly present or draw your concealed firearm from the 3 o'clock position. So for those of you unaware, when we conceal a firearm or even have a firearm on our body, if the straight ahead up and down is at 12 o'clock, then we have the 1, 2, 3 is at the hip, then it goes all the way around just like a clock. So the most common places to conceal a firearm are at the appendix, which is at the noon or 11 position, and then the 3 o'clock position, or the traditional along the waist. So my firearm has been cleared. There's no ammunition in it. So essentially what we have to keep in mind, and this is where most people screw up the draw, is that once we clear the holster, we need to get that barrel straight and focused on the threat as quickly as possible. So there's a couple of things in reaction time we have to look up. We have to see the threat, we have to identify the threat, we have to process it all that in fact that this is a threat. That all takes time. That's part of reaction time, identification, assessment, and then plan. So if you're here and you're looking forward and you see a threat and you need to draw, the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make is this, is that they'll see the threat, they'll come up, they'll draw, and then they'll sweep up. Okay, now during this time, the sweeping, you're clearing yourself, you may shoot yourself. One of the ranges I go to practice, they actually, when you can actually draw from concealment there, but they have benches there that you have to remove because half of them have holes in them from people doing this and pulling the trigger before they're on the target. So what we want to do, realistically, is when we are here, we're looking there, we have our threat. As soon as we come up, we want to draw the firearm out and rotate here before we even come forward. The reason is multifold. One, once we come up this way, we can engage the threat from here. So if you find yourself in that worst case scenario where you've identified a threat, you've drawn, and between the time it's taken you to identify the threat, process your reaction to it, draw, that threat has now decided to close the distance. And if you're here, you can fire from here. Now, if we do it that wrong way, we're here, and they decided, now I'm fighting over the firearm here, which is always bad. So if I come up from here, 1, 2, 3, I can engage all the way out to the threat. And if it's no longer a threat, I can bring back here, but I can also re-engage. If I'm doing this, that is time and steps that I don't need to take. I want the quickest possible way to get my firearm into the fight. So I'm here, I identify, I pull up, I come out, I rotate, I come forward, I press, and ideally, as we're pressing out, that's when we're going to put our finger on the trigger, and once we're at extension and we have that sight picture, we're going to take our trigger press. But I can, if I'm out here and they decide to close on me, I can come back this way. So what have I done? I've created distance, which is giving me time, and I can still fire that firearm. If I'm here, I can't fire that firearm and hit something that's actually going to stop them. So again, it's a 4-count motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, and press. And you can bring it back that way. Boom, 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 boom. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you do. Hopefully this has been somewhat of a help to people. And again, You got to practice. You got to get some professional training. All right, thank you, YouTube.